always on the go, but the day just won't be one without your Hollywood fix. Let Golden State Media Concepts Entertainment Podcast take care of that. An all-inclusive look of pop culture.
Welcome to the GSMC Entertainment Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. I'm your host, Jessica, and I'm here to tell you all the entertainment news that you need to know right now. Before we get into it, guys, it has been a beautiful 2 days here in the Philadelphia area. It has totally reinvigorated my spirit. It has been rainy and gloomy the past few weeks. I mean, August, I always thought that August was the hottest month of the summer. I have been proven wrong this year. I mean, of course, this year has just been just one blow after another, but these 2 beautiful days in a row have been such a gift. I love enjoying my morning coffee outside. I'm relaxing on my Chase lounge chairs. I have Wilson by my side. He's taking his little morning nap. It's truly heaven on earth. I'm so grateful that we have this beautiful backyard. It's the shade from the tree. It's absolutely perfect. It's so stunning in the summer and when the shade and it's not hot and it's not humid. It's perfect. So these few days have just been a dream. I don't know about you, but I am just so much more excited when the sun comes out. So the other day my desk arrived and I put that together. So now I'm sitting in my start of a home office. So I finally have a desk. The sun is coming through. The windows are open. There's this beautiful breeze. It's almost 5 o'clock, which is my favorite hour of the day. It's kind of when I start to unwind, I slow down. I might pour myself a glass of wine, have a snack. I'll start getting ready to cook dinner. We always eat a little later in the evening. I just love it. It's so relaxing. The sun is setting. I mean, I don't know how else I can paint this picture for you. I'm just so happy right now. I think it's supposed to be a nice day again tomorrow, but with clouds. Today was one of those days with not a cloud in the sky, and it was so perfect. Oh, guys, I love it. I have no other words. I'm going to cook a beautiful steak dinner tonight. I have a little bean salad on the side, some bread. It's just going to be nice and light and delicious. Can't wait. I cannot wait to start cooking, but first we must get through this podcast, and it is a good one today, guys. We are going to talk about some major celebrity business news. You're not going to want to miss it. I'm going to be exploring other ways that celebrities are making money, not with makeup. And then we're going to have some television news updates, a lot of stuff going on in the TV world, especially with COVID and everything. And then I also have news. Well, it's not really news. It's more of an opinion piece coming at the end. I'm going to kind of talk about the ethics of whether a celebrity or an influencer should disclose if they've had any plastic surgery done. And then at the very end, I'm just inspired by the sun being out and it being a beautiful several days. I'm just going to share some of my celebrity-inspired favorite summer dishes. So you won't want to miss that. So let's just dive right on in. Let's talk about what's happening. The big news coming out of Hollywood, some big business impressive news. Ryan Reynolds has sold his Aviation American Gin Company. According to several sources, Diageo plc, the world's largest spirit maker, has reached an agreement to acquire the gin company and other liquors sold by Davos Brands LLC, in which the Deadpool star has been co-owner for the last several years. I had no idea he had such a big stake in Aviation American Gin. We have it. I didn't know it was Ryan Reynolds. Anyway, so how much, you ask? a whopping $610 million. This is the second acquisition in recent years of a Hollywood-backed spirit. So in 2017, the maker of Smirnoff Vodka and Johnnie Walker Scotch Whiskey acquired the fast-growing tequila brand Casamigos, which has been co-founded 4 years earlier by George Clooney. I'm sure you've heard of him. For a cool $1 billion, that is billion with a B, dollars. Diageo PLC, quote, agreed to an initial payment of $335 million and a further potential consideration of as much as $275 million based on the performance of Aviation American Gin over a 10-year period. Ryan will reportedly retain stake in Davos Brands LLC, which is a majority stakeholder of his liquor brand. At this time, it's unclear if the actor will continue to make company decisions or have any sort of heavy hand with the brand. And in typical Ryan Reynolds form, he had some fun with the sale and poke fun of himself a little bit. So according to Entertainment Tonight, if you try to email Ryan Reynolds, you'll get a bounce back response that reads, "Thanks for your email. I'm currently out of the office, but will still be very hard at work selling Aviation Gin. For quite a long time, it seems. In related news, I have learned what an earn-out is, and I'd like to take this opportunity to apologize to everyone I told to go themselves in the last 24 hours. My lawyers just explained how long it takes to achieve a earn-out, so it turns out I'm not as George Clooney as I thought. The point is, to those listed below, I am sorry, and I'll indeed be needing your help in the coming months and years. Thanks in advance." The list below mentions his mom, Blake, Peter Diego, the Diego CEO, The Rock, George Clooney, Betty White, TGI Fridays, Baxter AMC Movie Theaters, Total Wine, and the number 8. He is a funny one. So there is never a dull moment in the Reynolds lively household. That is for sure. So in the spirit of this story, I kind of wanted to dig a little deeper and see what other celebrities have decided to go the alcohol and spirit route to make some money, because this is something that I would probably be interested in. I mean, like I said a few podcast episodes ago, a lot of celebrities and influencers are really into the skincare line and makeup. If I were the celebrity or an influencer, I would love to have my own wine label someday. So anyway, I wanted to kind of dig in and see what other celebrities out there are working in spirits. And there is quite the list that I didn't even know about. So I thought I would share them with you. So to start, we have beloved actress Cameron Diaz and entrepreneur Catherine Power launched a clean wine brand, Aveline. It has a white wine and a rosé that are both vegan friendly, made with organic grapes and free of unnecessary additives. In addition, all ingredients are listed right there on the label, so there's nothing hidden, so you know exactly what you're drinking. Nick Jonas has partnered with the fashion designer John Veritos and created Villa One Tequila in August of 2019 with the goal of making his ultra premium tequila from sustainably sourced 100% blue Weber agave that matures over 5 to 7 years. There's Sarah Jessica Parker. So she drew on her experience of blending perfumes with her collaboration with Invivio. It's an award-winning wine company from New Zealand, and so she has Invivio X. So Sarah Jessica Parker draws inspiration from her shoe line and also will design the labels. There's also Kate Hudson. She has King Street Vodka in a nod to her beloved New York City home. She wanted to add some female leadership to the spirits industry, especially in the vodka sector. Hudson's vodka stands out from the rest because it's distilled 7 times in small batches right in sunny Santa Barbara. It's gluten-free and she uses alkaline water. So it sounds like it would make a really perfect, something that I can go for right now, perfect dirty martini. Post Malone created Mason No. 9 to pay homage to the classical rosé and his love for the Mediterranean lifestyle. Kylie Jenner just posted pictures on her Instagram with Post Malone's wine, and there's already TikToks of fans trying Kylie's favorite rosé. So that is about to explode. You're going to see it everywhere. Everyone's going to be drinking it. It's going to be like Whispering Angels was a few years ago. It was on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. It was everywhere. It was the rosé of choice. Post Malone now is coming in with the help of Kylie Jenner. You're going to see it everywhere. I guarantee it. So with mentioning Real Housewives, we have to mention the queen, Bethany Frankel, who built her entire empire off of the Skinny Girl margarita. So this was the pre-blended skinny margarita drink. It has the blue agave silver tequila with agave nectar. It was easy for the working woman. And again, she built her whole empire based on that. So you got to give it to the queen. There's also the Food Network star, Guy Fieri, partnered with Sammy Hagar. They also created a tequila, Santa Fino Blanco tequila. This is also with Weber agave, full with flavor. But what do you expect from the mayor of Flavortown? It's going to pack quite the punch. Michael Jordan also has a tequila company. We have, Sean Diddy Combs. He's a singer, a songwriter, a rapper, a record producer, an entrepreneur. He's behind Ciroc Vodka, which the brand, he became part of the brand in 2017. Ciroc Coconut is one of my all-time favorite summer treats. I absolutely love it. Dwayne The Rock Johnson. I mean, again, another tequila brand. I'm seeing a theme. He launched Terramina. It's a small batch tequila brand known for its signature notes of oak and vanilla. I'm intrigued. I like The Rock, but I'm not a big fan of like big vanilla flavors in tequila, but I would give it a shot. John Bon Jovi, one of my favorites. Him and his son and partnered with a French winemaker, and they created a rosé called Hampton Water. I think that is a genius name. I feel like everyone in the Hamptons are drinking rosé in the summer, so he definitely knows his target audience. Martha Stewart is another one. Now, she's a little different. So she doesn't have her wine. She doesn't have a wine label, but instead has launched her own wine company. So unlike a lot of other celebrities who have a label and they sell their wine, her company helps her consumers learn about wine and how to access wine and how to pair the bottles with their favorite meals or moments. Like, are you at a picnic? Are you on the beach? What are you eating? And so she will tell you or guide you into what wines work best for situations. So I think that's pretty cool. So that's awesome. So she curates and tastes all the wine listed on her site. Like, not a terrible gig, Martha. Good job. Dan Aykroyd also has a vodka brand. So if you ever have been in the liquor store and seen the vodka that comes in that crystal head, that's Dan Aykroyd's. Very cool. Did not know that. Also, there is Chris Noth. He is known as Mr. Big in Sex and the City. He has, guess. Yep, it's tequila. He also has a tequila company. There is country singer Luke Bryan. He launched Two-Lane American Golden Lager. It's very typical for a country singer. It's an easy drinking classic that you enjoy in your backyard while cooking on the barbecue. There's also Kenny Chesney, speaking of country stars. He has a very successful rum line, Blue Chair Bay. That is Kenny Chesney's. There's over 10 flavors. He is a busy man and also very, very rich. I have definitely seen that bottle. I've definitely purchased it. And then finally, there is Bob Dylan. He launched his small batch whiskey, Heaven's Door, back in 2015. And the bottle, which is really cool, showcases like welded iron gates that Dylan actually creates in his metalworking studio. So there you go, guys. The more you know. I did not know that so many celebrities were behind all this alcohol and all these spirits. I mean, good for them. I really respect it. I respect the hustle. Like I said, it's my dream to have a wine label one day. Who knows? I hope that dream of mine comes true. I've had it for a very long time. I would probably focus on red wine. I don't drink a lot of white wine, so I don't really know what I'm looking for, but definitely red. That is something that I'm super passionate about. But anyway, that is for something way down the road. So stay tuned. We will be right back. Coming up, I have some television news, and then we're going to get into some of the ethical questions of whether or not celebrities and influencers should disclose if they've had any sort of plastic surgery done. And then at the very end, in the spirit of summer and the beautiful weather and the beautiful breeze, I'm going to be sharing with you some of my favorite dishes that I like to cook in the summer. They're celebrity inspired, and hopefully they can inspire you. Go cook something. It's very fun. And I promise you can do it. But anyway, be right back.
Want to find out what movies to go see? Then check out the GSMC Movie Podcast. It's your ticket to the latest movies, whether it's a new blockbuster event, romantic, comedy, or action flick. This show has got it all covered. They talk some what to go see now, don't bother, what's hot on Netflix, and everything in between. That's gsmcpodcast.com/movie-podcast. When it's all about the movies, it has to be this new show. Don't forget to like them on Facebook and follow them on Twitter. Visit gsmcpodcast.com for more info.
And welcome back, friends. Let's just dive into some TV news. You'd think of all the shows that might take a break during a pandemic, Dancing with the Stars would be at the top of the list. You'd think that, but you would be wrong. The ABC reality series, which puts pro dancers and celebrity amateur dancers in very close proximity on live TV on a weekly basis, is soldiering on despite the coronavirus outbreak with some new rules in place that mean big changes for the pros and stars that are involved, especially the pros that are married to each other. To prevent the spread of COVID-19, all pros will have to live separately from one another during the season and can have no physical interaction at all. That includes those who are married, like Emma Slater and Sasha Farber. Quote, "It's gonna be bliss. I mean, it's gonna be terrible," Slater joked. It's going to be so different because we can't actually interact and even prep with each other, which is something completely different, but we're doing everything we can to keep safe. At the time of this recording, which is Thursday, Dancing with the Stars has not yet announced the names of the contestants or the quarantine rules they will be required to follow. The only contestant that they have announced is former Bachelorette Caitlin Bristow. She is confirmed to compete. The show will also be going some major changes unrelated to the pandemic this season, as Tom Bergeron and Erin Andrews have both exited. Tara Banks is the new solo host and executive producer, and she's promising some big changes. She told Good Morning America, "Okay, let's just keep this real. It's going to be so next level. We're doing all this crazy stuff, taking it to the next level, but still keeping the stuff that we all know America loves. But you need to get ready because it's going to be different." Now, I have no idea what these big changes could be, but that's also why I'm not a producer of Dancing with the Stars. I'm not really sure what quote next level could possibly be for a dance competition show, especially when you can't really interact with other members of the show. So like, I can see maybe a few shakeups COVID related, but other than that, I'm not really sure. Also, the phrase next level always reminds me of someone, and like no shade, but also a little shade. It reminds me of someone who always claims they have like next level things in the works to get people talking about them, but then nothing actually comes from it or happens. I know that sounds super negative, but it's just something that I've noticed over the years, like knowing people that go, quote, next level. Anyway, so season 29, can you believe it? 29 of Dancing with the Stars will start on September 14th. So I'm sure they're going to announce the full cast list as we get closer, but we're getting really close. So I'm very curious as to see what these next level big changes are. It'll be great. And I'm calling it. I don't even know who the other contestants are. I think Caitlin Bristow has this in the bag. I don't know if you've seen her dance. If you haven't, she's excellent at it. She has training. So I don't think it's going to, you know what? So it's not going to be like she's an amateur dancer learning to dance. She already knows how to dance. So who knows? Maybe the judges will be harder on her. But who knows? With these big changes, anything is possible. Speaking of restarting, some changes are coming to the Ellen DeGeneres show amid allegations it fostered a toxic work environment. A spokesperson for Warner Brothers said 3 of the show's top producers, Ed Glavin, Kevin Lehman, and Jonathan Norman, have, quote, parted ways with the Ellen DeGeneres show. The show's distributor, Warner Brothers Television, is owned by CNN's parent company, Warner Media. So it's a big, big umbrella. According to CNN, DeGeneres held a Zoom meeting on Monday of this week with over 200 employees, according to the source that has knowledge of the situation. In this meeting, DeGeneres apologized, saying she plans to interact more with her staff going forward and ensure there's a culture where her employees feel safe and they feel heard and happy. She says, allegedly, she says, quote, does it mean I'm perfect? No, I'm not. I'm a multi-layered person, and I try to be the best person I can be, and I try to learn from my mistakes, she allegedly said during the meeting. Allegedly, I don't know. I'm hearing that some people felt that I wasn't kind or too short with them or too impatient. I apologize to anybody if I hurt your feelings in any way. In an email sent to staffers last month, DeGeneres said an internal investigation had been launched into the allegations. I think by now you all know how I feel about this situation. Whoever is doing the PR for Ellen needs to be fired, or Ellen needs to listen to that person on the PR team. There's no reason that this story should have ever been dragged out for this long. Frankly, it is embarrassing. It's embarrassing that we have to talk about it. It's embarrassing that she hasn't addressed it. It's embarrassing that it's been going on for months. Everything about it is shameful. And it's not even about like Ellen being mean. Fine. She's not a nice person. I've had plenty of bosses that weren't nice. I've also had plenty of bosses that were very, very kind. Credit when credit is due. But it shouldn't have been drug out. She should have just, okay, these allegations have been made against me. I am making a statement. It is going to be perfectly crafted by a PR team that I'm sure she pays them a boatload of money. And this all could have been done. Why are we still talking about it? I mean, it's so insane to me. I don't get it. But this is why I also feel that it just proves that she's nasty, because she doesn't, and she's a narcissist because she doesn't feel that she needs to apologize, because she doesn't feel that she's done anything wrong, despite allegation after allegation after allegation, and then an investigation. Like, you let it get that far. You thought yourself so high and mighty that because you didn't want to address it, it had to go this far. And they say that all press is good press, but not this. This is just ridiculous. I mean, if anything, she's going to have her like handful of an older audience watching her, but she's not going to get a new audience. She's not going to get any new fans from this. And that is that on that. I will hope that I don't have to report on Ellen anymore. I just had to say that she fired people. It's just a Band-Aid on something so much sillier, but whatever, girl. To each his own. Good luck in the future. Let's move on. I think it is time. Let's move on to the next piece of television news. The Crown Season 4 finally has its release date. Netflix shared a sneak peek of the new season on social media. Season 4, it seems, will focus on the courtship between Prince Charles and Lady Diana Spencer, played by Emma Corrin. Diana and Charles' royal wedding will be a plot point, and the trailer ends like ominously with Diana alone in Buckingham Palace and the train of her Elizabeth Emmanuel dress dragging behind her. And remember, I don't know if a lot of people do, but Diana was 19 years old when she got married. Most of the shots I also want to mention in the trailer released by Netflix. It's a lot of Diana in solo shots, like walking out of her home to face the paparazzi alone, staring out of a window at the countryside alone, waving to fans alone. She does this alone with nobody by her side, the definition of alone. And the late princess spoke often of the dreadful isolation and depression that she felt as a royal. In an interview to the BBC in 1995, she said, I seem to be on the front of a newspaper every single day, which is an isolating experience. And the higher the media puts you, the bigger the drop. It's so sad what happened to Princess Diana. Princess Diana was killed in a car crash August 31st in 1997. Not to be morbid, but just to be completely honest with you guys, I think this is where my love of the media was born, was in the year 1997. Between JonBenet Ramsey and Princess Diana, I was really fascinated by how the media covered these tragedies, what was published, and how the headlines were written. This was when I started to pay attention of all the magazines when you were checking out at the grocery store, right? JonBenet Ramsey, she was killed Christmas of 1996, so all of the media was the end of 96 and in 97. Princess Diana was in 97. I just remember I would just have like tabloids and magazines of these stories, and this is definitely where I became captivated by the media. So a little dark, a little twisty, but now you have a little sense of who I am. So that is that on the television news. COVID really put a damper on TV, but I'm glad we're getting something. I could definitely use something new to watch, so I'm looking forward to The Crown coming out. I will be watching Dancing with the Stars. I'm really rooting for my girl, Caitlin Bristow. When we come back, we're going to talk about ethics for a little bit and whether or not celebrities should disclose if they've had any plastic surgeries or procedures done. And then at the very end of this episode, I will be discussing some of my favorite summertime dishes that I like to make for me and my husband and friends. And they're also celebrity inspired. So I hope that inspires you to cook your favorite recipes, especially on these beautiful sunny days. Anyway, be right back.
Tired of searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. Hey! The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch. Whatever it may be. Visit us at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter and download us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
Welcome back. We talked about celebrity entrepreneurial trends, and we talked about some TV news that's really exciting. I'm very excited to get back into watching some new shows. But now we're going to talk about something just a little bit more thought-provoking. I don't have the answers to this. I am not a psychologist, but this is something that I have thought about a lot, especially with the rise of social media and how big social media is today and comparison culture all the time. So I'm just curious as to what you think, and I just thought it would be kind of cool to mention and to just start a discussion. Well, I mean, be part of the discussion, I guess I should say, about whether or not celebrities or influencers should disclose if they've had any sort of plastic surgery or procedures done. So we're going to talk like plastic surgery, Botox, Facetune. There are two high-profile stories to the public this week about celebrities being questioned if they'd had any plastic surgery. So that's kind of what inspired this discussion and being part of the discussion today. So first, there's Todd Chrisley of Chrisley Knows Best. He has been the center of a lot of plastic surgery rumors recently. The 51-year-old claims that he is no stranger to Botox, but has never had plastic surgery to alter his appearance. So he recently shared a picture on Instagram to his 2.1 million followers. He's wearing like this blue and white t-shirt, looking right into the camera, and he just has this flawless, youthful complexion, and it literally looks like he is aging in reverse. So while plenty of Chrisley's followers responded with praise for his good looks, many speculated that he had work done. So one critic asked, "Did you use fillers in this photo, or have you had a facelift?" To which Todd replied, "Neither, but maybe in the future." Another user commented on the Instagram picture with a bunch of laughing emojis and wrote, "Thank your plastic surgeon, your face is all filler." To which Chrisley sarcastically responded, "You are so kind. I actually have no filler in my face, but if you sleep better thinking that, then consider me fillered up." Even Lisa Rinna of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills commented on the picture saying, "You look 12. Chrisley replied, "Well, thank God for laser, Botox, and a prayer." Real Housewives of Orange County, Tamara Judge posted a similar comment saying, "You look 18. And then he replied, "You always know exactly the right lie to tell." So when another curious user asked what type of lasers or facials, he responded, "The Leho laser and hydrofacials." So, I mean, he uses Botox, which he admits, and someone said, "Oh, you use fillers," and he's like, "No fillers," and he says, like, no fillers, like it's almost an insult to use fillers, but I mean, I don't know. You can be honest about it if you did, but I don't know why he wouldn't be honest. I don't know. It just something about the picture and all that Botox, which I love Botox. I haven't gotten Botox, but I want Botox. Also on the dream list. But, you know, it doesn't look like a Botox achieved look. And I feel like he's really, he is really digging like with the semantics of it. Like, oh, it's not filler, but it's Botox. Like, what's another word you want someone to say what it is? Like, you're not going to call it out. But I think you should be honest rather than like coming out and being sarcastic to all these people. But more on my opinion on that later. Next is Khloe Kardashian was also in the news this week, clapping back at haters. So Khloe has been open about her physical transformation since she initially lost weight back in 2014, but that doesn't stop any internet trolls from questioning her looks. And the reality star is generally pretty open with us. She's the candid Kardashian, I like to call her. So she is very open about using Facetune, and she likens it to, you know, kind of dyeing your hair. Like it's all the same, right? So she posted a picture with her and her daughter True, and Khloe in the picture has these big red lips and a short bob cut or a wig, who knows, whatever it is. And some say that she doesn't look recognizable, and someone says, "Who is that on the right?" And Khloe claps back saying, "Your new stepmother, be nice or get grounded." So Chloe always looks fantastic, but she has been, if you've been keeping up, constantly being ridiculed for all the Facetune and looking unrecognizable lately. Comedian Jade Adams has a stand-up special called Serious Black Jumper, and she calls out Kylie Jenner and her lip kit, showing these before and after images of the self-made billionaire. So Jade claims that Jenner has done, quote, what Jenner has done is, quote, convince other nice normal girls that she made her face go from this, showing a picture of before, to this, showing a picture of her now, via a lipstick that only she sells. So in 2016, Kylie admitted that her lips were getting too big at one point and she needed to calm down on it. But that's the only thing that Kylie has really addressed that she has had done to her. And we've all been watching Keeping Up with the Kardashians from the beginning, and you cannot convince me that the only thing that she has altered on her body is her lips, and you can't convince me that everything is just because of good contouring. So, Kylie Jenner has 191 million followers on Instagram, just saying. There are doctors on TikTok that they look at these pictures of celebrities and influencers and they break down what kind of procedures that they think they have had. Now, none of these doctors on TikTok actually treated these celebrities. They will just show like these before and after pictures and give in their, quote, professional opinion what they think these celebrities have done. Now, other celebrities or influencers are more open and honest, such as Perez Hilton. He has been very open about the work that he's had done, including he underwent a hair transplant, and it's probably because he's very active on YouTube, so he knew people would see his head because he always does these YouTube videos and his hair would look a little different for a while as the procedure healed. So he was really open and honest about that, and I really respected him for it. I'm sorry, I don't know why it was so hard for me to find the word respected. So I'm just going to give my opinion on all this, and I would love to hear yours. So do you think that celebrities and influencers are responsible for disclosing any work that they have done? I go kind of two ways. Like, no, it's not their job to. However, I don't think that they should lie about it and claim that they haven't, especially when they're promoting like workouts, vitamins, lip kits, etc. So my issue is that with how big social media is these days, and it's huge. There's so many apps you can go on. There's Facebook, there's Instagram, there's Snapchat, there's TikTok, everything. You have streaming services that are constantly giving you like the Real Housewives and Keeping Up with the Kardashians and Selling Sunset and all of these shows where these women look absolutely perfect all the time. And you have these girls and these women who go, oh, well, if my eyebrows don't look that, then something's wrong. Or if my lips aren't that big, then something's wrong. Or my hips aren't, I don't have the right hips or the right waist or the right chest or the right arms or the right legs. It gets crazy. And I feel really bad for this new generation that's growing up just being like inundated with all this. I feel like maybe 20 years ago it might have been a little taboo to talk about a facelift, but now you see it all the time. You see these people all the time. Before, it would just be an actress in a movie, and then you wouldn't really see her. Maybe like a paparazzi picture here and there, but it's not on your screen. We didn't even have screens all the time in our pockets, right? So, again, I'm not a psychologist. I don't really know the answer to this. But I think I do lean towards it is your responsibility to be honest, right? Like, so if someone says, oh, I think you had plastic surgery, to say, you know what, I haven't had a facelift, but I have had this done, and that's why I look like this. And I think that is kind of your job when you have 2 million followers, 191 million followers, 3,000 followers. I think once you have a following and people that look up to you and start asking questions of like, what shirt are you wearing? What's your favorite food? What kind of lipstick are you wearing? You should be honest about everything else as well. Does that make sense? Am I rambling? I don't know. So someone that I look up to is, we just talked about her actually, is Caitlin Bristow from The Bachelorette, and she is very open and honest on Instagram, and I very much appreciate that. I think it's very healthy, and I think it's, brave to do. So she will be like, yes, I'm getting Botox. Yes, I'm getting filler. Yes, I'm doing this. Yes, I'm doing that. But then she'll also turn around and be like, I'm also having these really bad and insecure days. So you can do all the filler, you can do all the Botox, and you can still be insecure about yourself. And then she'll come out the other side and be like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like, I understand why I felt insecure, and it's because you're constantly comparing yourself, and it's just keeping up with the Joneses. But she's just very honest with herself. She's honest with everybody else, and that the Botox and the lips and the this and then that doesn't cure how you're feeling. It's all about self-love and self-acceptance, and you can't really love others until you love yourself, and I firmly believe in that. So to anyone who thinks they have to be perfect and have to have the perfect eyebrows, you don't have to, but if you feel better with them, then do it. But it's not going to fix anything. So I would love to hear what you guys have to say about it. If you think celebrities should be held to that kind of standard or not, tell me if you do think it's their responsibility or if you think it's nobody's business. Again, I think it was nobody's business 20 years ago, but now because it's so popular, I think it is our business. And you need to show little girls and women that this is not a natural thing. They can achieve it if they want to, but again, they will have to want to, never achieve it for anybody else. So let me know, find me on Instagram and tell me what you think. I'll put a poll up for you. So that was that, my little question for you all. So stay tuned. We're going to go on a quick break, and then when we get back, I'm going to talk about one of my favorite topics in the world, and that is food. I am sharing with you some of my favorite summer dishes that I like to share with my husband and my friends, and they're all kind of celebrity inspired. So stay tuned. We will be right back.
Golden State Media Concepts bring you Book Review Podcast, a haven for bookworms of all ages and the widest genres, from mystery to memoirs, romance to comedy, fantasy to sci-fi. If you love to read, this is the podcast for you. It's the Golden State Media Concepts Book Review Podcast.
And welcome back, my friends. We learned a lot about celebrity entrepreneurial adventures. We had some TV updates and also pondering the ethics of celebrity plastic surgery. I think this has been a very well-rounded episode. So again, let me know. Find me on Instagram and let me know what you think about celebrities and plastic surgery and if they should tell the public if they've had anything done. So that's that on that. I am super excited to talk about this next topic, food. I love food. I'm a good Italian girl and I love being in the kitchen. It is my favorite room in the house. It is where we sit at the kitchen table, we sit and we break bread with our friends and our loved ones, and so many memories of mine have been made around the kitchen table, and I hope to create those memories, with me and my family and even our friends. I absolutely love to cook. Thankfully, I am an adventurous eater. There are very few things that I don't like. But for example, one thing that I hate it so much, is celery. I think it is the devil's food. I hate the smell. I hate the taste. I hate the texture. Everything about it. I think celery is the devil, but I'll eat tripe. So you figure that one out. I have no idea. Anyway, I wanted to share with you some of my favorite summer dishes inspired by some of my favorite celebrities. I like to cook these meals for my husband and friends of mine that live right down the street. It's really what's been keeping me going during this entire pandemic. So to start, I am sure that you have seen this all over TikTok and Instagram. It is Gigi Hadid's spicy vodka pasta. Now, penne vodka is generally a crowd favorite, and she didn't invent the dish. I love penne vodka. It's like the creamy blush sauce. It's always the creamy blush sauce is always so satisfying any time of year. It doesn't have to just be summer. I like it in the summer because it's a really easy dish. You just like quick whip it up, put it together after a fun day in the sun. But I also enjoy a big bowl of it in the winter too, like to warm my soul. Gigi's recipe is inspired by the famous vodka rigatoni from Carbone in New York City. But with it being closed because of the pandemic, you have to learn, make it yourself at home. So what I do, kind of what Gigi has been doing is, and this is crazy, I leave out the vodka. And I know it is like a big ingredient. It's in the name, vodka sauce, but I don't use vodka. Gigi doesn't use it because she is pregnant. I don't use it because I'm lazy. But I guarantee you 99% of the time, if you tell someone they're having vodka sauce, they're just going to believe you. They're not going to be able to taste the difference. I promise. So I've been making this faux vodka sauce for many years. My husband couldn't tell the difference. It's just all about your technique and just building flavors. So it's really simple. It's olive oil, garlic, some green onion, tomato paste, red pepper flake, heavy cream, butter, pasta water, Parmesan cheese, basil, salt, pepper. You're good to go. That's it. I mean, the list is long, but I promise you it's probably just longer to say. You probably have all of the ingredients in your home already. I make a lot of pasta when I make pasta, so I need a lot of sauce. I will generally use a base of like a can of just tomato sauce, not like a pre-mixed something. It's just tomato puree and that's it. I'll use that. I'll, caramelize the tomato paste to kind of get rid of some of the acidity and really boil it down. It's delicious. The trick is you have to use the heavy cream. There's no way to go around that. No half and half, no milk. It's heavy cream. That, my friends, is key. So don't skimp on that. So number 2 on the list, Kylie Jenner makes a crispy French toast that has the internet buzzing. I love making French toast on the weekend mornings. I'll make it for brunch for our neighbors. And French toast is like the cornerstone of the brunch. Now she adds frosted flakes. I don't do that, but our base for the French toast is pretty much identical. Number 1, use brioche bread. That is a must. Dip the bread in your egg mixture. This is a little bit where Kylie and I differ. She uses milk, but I use, you guessed it, some heavy cream. So it's the egg, the heavy cream, some vanilla extract, and cinnamon. This, my friends, is a crowd pleaser. The texture is almost like a souffle. It is so, so good. I top it with some powdered sugar and maple syrup. Now we have to continue with the brunch theme because brunch is what is keeping me going, my friends. And the next part to brunch, you have the French toast, you need scrambled eggs. So Chrissy Teigen has a recipe for scrambled eggs that is pretty identical to mine. So girl, great minds, we think alike. So you can have my eggs, you can cook it, you can serve them by themselves or like on the side of the French toast or over some crunchy bread because, Italian can't have too many carbs. I prefer it over some crunchy toast. So all you need for this is some butter, some eggs, and okay, guys, this is a theme, but it's so important. Heavy cream. I mean, that should probably be the name of this episode. It won't be, but I mean, I love it. It really makes such a difference. So you whisk together the eggs, a splash of the cream. You don't need too much, I promise, because you're using a lot of butter. And you're going to heat your pan low and slow, okay? So it's going to be on a super, super low heat, and you're going to add butter, and you're going to let the butter melt, and it's only going to bubble just a little tiny bit. You're going to put your eggs in. Now, I use a rubber spatula. You can use a wooden spoon, but only those two things, the spoon or the wooden spoon or the spatula. I prefer the rubber spatula. It gives me some more control. It's going to take a while for your eggs to cook. This is a long process, about 20 minutes. I know it sounds really long for scrambled eggs, but I have all the time in the world right now, guys. So on super low heat, you just keep stirring. Don't stop stirring. Just stir the eggs, stir the eggs, stir the eggs. They're slowly going to cook. They're going to be super creamy. Right before they're done, I'm going to add my salt and pepper to taste. And then I'm going to add another slab of the cold butter and just slowly melt that in. It is a lot of butter. I do not eat these eggs every day. Cannot stress that enough. But it is a crowd pleaser. When I first made them for friends, they're like, oh my gosh, Jess, what is the secret to your eggs? It is butter. And it's the low and the slow. I promise you it's worth the time. It's going to be so delicious. And when it's served over the crispy bread, you can enjoy it for breakfast, lunch, or even dinner. And when I'm feeling super fancy, which, few and far between, but when I am, I'll add some chives on the top. People will think you are a chef. It is so, so good. Next is, and this is a recipe that I've never made until I saw it. And this is Meghan Markle's zucchini bolognese. I mean, now I have already disclosed that I hate celery so much. So for bolognese, I always keep it out. In a traditional bolognese, you have the meat and you cook it low and slow for several hours. When I saw this recipe, I was like, I have to try it. I love zucchini. I love onions. Let's go. So this is all it is. It is zucchini, onions, a bouillon cube, some water, and just let that cook low and slow like the eggs, low and slow for 4 hours. Again, I have time to make 20-minute eggs. I have time to make 4-hour bolognese. I'm not really doing much at the moment. This dish is so delicious. It is very true to Italian cooking where you don't need a lot of ingredients to make a superb dinner. This is so good. After 4 hours, the zucchini and the onions, they create this like deep, rich sauce that will cling perfectly to your pasta. I prefer using the rigatoni, and chef's kiss. I add a little bit of pasta water to kind of thicken it up and just add my cheese on top. Parmesan, locatelli, both are fine. It's perfect. It's super simple. Again, I have plenty of time on my hands to cook it. It is so good. I highly suggest it. If you have time, maybe on a weekend, give it a try. It's vegetarian, scrumptious. And last but not least, I am the celebrity on this one. This is one of my favorite pasta dishes to make. I know it's a lot of pasta. I'm Italian. What can I say? I live up to the stereotype. This pasta dish I make every summer, probably once a week. It is pasta with lemon sausage and peas. I know it sounds a little different. It's like a spring pasta, but I just use it all summer long. It's so light and bright. I use ground sausage. I add some leeks. I brown it up. I'll add some leeks and some shallots, and then I'll put in some chicken broth and really let the broth reduce. Add the peas at the very end because I don't like them when they're mushy. I still like them to have like a little bit of a bite. Add some lemon zest and some lemon juice. Finish with some butter. Add the pasta of choice, whatever kind of pasta you like. I'll use bow tie. I'll use penne. I'll use rigatoni. I like the mezzo rigatoni, which is like the half size rigatonis if you've never had them. Scrumptious. And it's just such a good, easy meal. It's the perfect summer pasta. I made it for my husband for the first time over Easter, and he loved it. It's highly requested in this household. I will post the recipe on Instagram if you want to try it. If you've never had peas and pasta before, it's like a match made in heaven. I love it. I've been eating it my whole life. I guess this wasn't a popular thing, but it is so good. If you haven't tried it, please do yourself a favor. Again, I will post the recipe on Instagram, so go over and check it out. So that concludes the episode, my friends. I feel like this went by super, super fast. It's probably because I'm in such a good mood, so much different than the other day when I had that migraine. Oh gosh, remember that? Terrible. Never want to be in that position again, but I know I will. But anyway, guys, this was so much fun. I had so much fun talking with you. Until next time, thank you so much for listening to the GSMC Entertainment Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. I would like to ask for you to please subscribe to the show and write a beautiful, glowing review that really helps us out. Also, if you can please follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Again, that's where I'll be posting my recipe. You need to try it. I would really, really appreciate it. Until next time, guys, thank you so much and have a great night. Bye.
You've been listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Entertainment Podcast, part of the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. You can find this show and others like it at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Download our podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and Google Play. Just type in GSMC to find all the shows from the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. From movies to music, from sports to entertainment, and even weird news. You can also follow us on Twitter and on Facebook. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's program.